All right, let's dive in. Today, we're talking about a really big idea for this new age of AI. It's a concept that completely rethinks how we use our most valuable asset, our experience. It's called wisdom scaling, and honestly, it could change everything about how organizations learn and grow.
So just think about this for a second. We've all seen it happen, right? That one key person on a project leaves and they take all their incredible hard-won knowledge with them. That one colleague who just knew what to do, but it was all in their head, and then poof, it all just evaporates. It's a problem everywhere, but what if there was a way to solve it for good?
See, the core of the problem is actually pretty simple, but it's got massive consequences. Wisdom, unlike information, doesn't really scale. It's personal, it's sticky, and it is incredibly hard to pass along. And this shows you exactly why. For basically all of human history, wisdom has been a fragile thing. It passed from one person directly to another, a mentor to an apprentice, an elder to a newcomer. It was local, it was slow, and if that chain ever broke, that wisdom was pretty much lost forever. This slide really gets to the heart of a huge gap we see in most organizations. On one hand, we are drowning in information. We've got documentation, best practices, all the policies. But what's missing? It's the real stuff, the lived experience, the collective memory of what actually happened. And maybe most importantly, all the lessons from the quiet failures that nobody ever talks about. And the cost of this wisdom gap is just enormous. People end up making the same mistakes over and over again. All those hard-earned lessons, they just vanish into thin air. New folks come in and have to struggle through the exact same challenges that people before them already figured out. We're basically reinventing the wheel constantly, and it's just so inefficient. So, if that's the problem, what on earth is the solution? Well, it involves a totally new way of thinking about collective intelligence, one that, frankly, just wasn't possible until right now. This really powerful idea comes from a guy named Bill Bishop, who's the CEO of the Big Idea Company. And it actually grew out of his other work on a concept he calls new factory thinking. What he's proposing is a fundamental shift in how we think about, capture, and use wisdom itself. And this quote, this just nails it. AI has knowledge. Humans have wisdom. Think about that. AI is a machine for processing information. It gets the what. But real wisdom, that comes from lived experience. It's about understanding the why and the how. So the goal here isn't to replace human judgment with AI. Not at all. It's about creating this incredible partnership that combines the best of both worlds. And that brings us right to the definition. So, what is wisdom scaling? It's a business model specifically designed to capture that human experience, that wisdom, and make it accessible and reusable for an entire group at a massive scale by using AI as the connector, the mediator. Okay, so how does this actually work? Let's take a look under the hood at the mechanics of what we can call the wisdom scaling engine. At its core, it's a really simple but incredibly powerful loop. First, you extract the experience, usually by having an AI just talk with the experts. Then the AI organizes all that messy human storytelling into something structured and useful. After that, other people can reuse that wisdom, asking their own questions to get super targeted insights. And here's the best part. Every single one of those interactions helps to improve the whole system, making the collective intelligence even stronger. It's a cycle that just keeps getting smarter. The reason this whole thing is even possible now is because of a few huge breakthroughs in AI. First, AI lets us continuously capture deep experience through conversation. Second, it's amazing at finding structure in all the messiness of how we humans actually talk and tell stories. And third, it gives you instant contextual access so you get the exact right piece of wisdom at the exact moment you need it most. Now, this isn't just some clever idea for managing knowledge. It is a completely new and very defensible business model. And it's built on one of the most powerful forces out there, the network effect. So the model works by creating two groups that feed each other. On one side, you have contributors. These are the experts sharing their real-world experience. On the other side, you have users who pay to tap into that collective intelligence. And here's the magic. The more contributions you get, the more value there is for the users, which then attracts even more contributors. It's this powerful, self-reinforcing loop. It's really the ultimate network effect. Now, think about how companies usually compete. It's on things like features or brand or being more efficient. A wisdom scaling business competes on something completely different, a proprietary, always growing data set of lived human experience. That is an asset that is fundamentally one of a kind. And that's the whole game right there. You can copy a piece of software. You can copy a marketing plan.
But you absolutely cannot copy a living, breathing archive of human experience that's built on trust. This model basically turns a company's biggest liability, people leaving, into its greatest asset. And that creates a competitive advantage that is incredibly difficult to overcome.
So, what's the big picture here? What are the long-term implications? Well, this is more than just a business model. It really points to a future where entire communities can develop a kind of shared judgment.
And that shift is just profound. Instead of constantly losing knowledge every time someone walks out the door, a community can build a real, lasting collective memory. And instead of having to rely on a few experts who become bottlenecks, the entire group gets access to shared judgment built from the experiences of everyone.
If you take one thing away from this, let it be this. In a world where AI can give you any piece of information instantly, the most valuable and rare resource isn't data anymore. It's experienced human judgment, as long as it's captured and shared responsibly.
So I want to leave you with a question to chew on. In your own company, your industry, maybe even in your hobby community, what incredible, game-changing collective wisdom is currently locked away inside people's heads, just waiting for a chance to be unlocked and scaled for everyone?